leather gloves, we're slapping in hands. Popcorn and peanuts, we're working the stands. Pink cotton candy, love on a stick. Who's chasing the beer that circle the lips? Play ball, play ball. Load up the bases and smack it right over the wall.
Play ball.
Play ball.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Laughter Saves Lives live here on Strong Island Television in beautiful Paradise Studios. Beautiful Paradise Studios.
It's paradise.
I tripped over that. Paradise is in beautiful downtown Massapequa, New York, right where this man lives. Here's his address. Where's he going with that?
I have bulletproof glass.
Yes, it's a beautiful town, and right by the Long Island Railroad is the studio.
Right, I can
So
see it.
If we have
See it
any
from
big
here.
stars coming from Manhattan, we just ship them right out on the railroad. We take care of their fee, right? That's the kind of show we are. We don't expect a comic to come from Manhattan without giving them a little,
Oh, the train fare?
oh, yeah. Tonight's show is brought to you by the law firm of Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community. Michael Barasch, thank you for your sponsorship. He's our biggest sponsor. Thank you very much. So welcome back.
I haven't been on this show as a co-host in a long time.
And I was waiting for you to say that.
A long
You know
time.
why?
You know
No,
what? Do you know
because-
how many people have to pass on the show? I'm like the 15th in the line of succession.
And here's the bad part. There's one other person that didn't respond. If they walk in the door, you'll have to get
I'll
up.
have to get up. Right. Do you never watch
Could
the
you
show
imagine?
You
What?
never saw the show Battlestar Galactica, right?
I don't watch those kind of shows.
Well,
I'm not into
the woman that became president of the colonies after
Right,
the silent
right.
attack
Right.
was 51st in the line of succession.
Oh, shoot.
That's how I feel.
Isn't that like this? What about the TV show they had with the designated survivor?
Same thing. I
That-
feel like I'm
was-
the designated
You
survivor
are.
co-host.
No, you know what?
Like if 50 comics pass.
Let me
I'm
tell you
51.
something. We appreciate you because you're always there to help out, to step in. Don't get me wrong. I just think like the chemistry with when you have a female co-host.
Yeah, no, it's
Like Roseanne,
I agree.
The
Yeah.
chemistry when you like Richie, female co-host, I work well with.
Right, but since
Like
I
Richie-
left, I used to be a regular on the show.
No, I was throwing out.
Oh, Richie. Oh, I got you.
If you got to repeat it 3 times.
Well, you should have briefed me on that.
Oh,
before.
Richie's daughter's working here now, so she's going to tell him I called him a female.
So I'm
Don't
sure
tell me.
he's
What goes on here stays here.
the show's watched by millions of people.
Millions.
It's going to get back to him. But I look fat on the.
You are the only one that when we talk about you on the air, you show up 10 minutes later.
Oh my
you live-
God!
Am I
yeah,
right?
I look heavy.
How you
On
are
the- how
heavy?
many the camera it's 10 pounds.
You're a big
how
boy.
many cameras are on me?
I don't know. Looks like 6.
There's like 6 cameras on.
But did you hear what I said? You are the only one that shows up when we talk about you. Like we give you.
I
a little-
come right down.
We give you a little dig. You know.
Benny Rizzuti in the other studio. Well, they can't see. There's a studio here. He was talking about me a couple of times, and I came. I was
He
watching the
shows up.
show.
That's
and
hysterical.
I showed up. So yes.
Today I took the big guy. Could we show Giovanni and me at the all-you-can-eat buffet over there?
All you can eat.
Well, here's the deal. There he is, Giovanni. Look, a little smirk. He's eating. What is he eating? I don't know what he's eating. All
nice.
you can eat. The all-you-can-eat buffets. Now listen.
What kind of all you can eat buffet?
Well, what's the,
Chinese food?
Well,
Or
yeah.
was it
was-
all
but
kinds of
You
food?
say Chinese food, but you know they throw in a little pizza and they throw in.
It's one of those. Like a cruise ship.
global over on Hempstead Turnpike there.
What's it called?
Global buffet. Used to be old country.
Used to be old country buffet.
My mom and dad used to go there. So my dad likes to go there. So I took him to the doctor in Queens. I brought him there. I like a buffet once in a while, not because I eat like a horse.
No, but what do you like about the buffet? The variety?
Okay, let me say. I like a dumpling, right? Can I go in a Chinese restaurant and say, let me have one dumpling, let me have one
No, you got to
egg roll?
order a whole thing.
Yeah, so I get a dumpling. They had the hibachi there. I do some veggies.
Oh, I
on
love a
thing.
hibachi.
It was beautiful. So me and the big guy went there, and I was thinking, hey, Patrick McDonald, thank you for watching, my brother.
I have to ask you a question.
I got a question about. Let me ask you one question.
Oh,
and we'll come back.
Okay.
Because this is how my mind works, and it's a
I'll
very
write it
simple
down.
mind, as you know, right?
Yes. But it's a brilliant one.
And it had something tied into the buffet. My dad got corn on the cob
Okay.
in the buffet. Okay.
Okay.
When you eat corn on the cob, you throw it on the grills, right? Nice,
Sure.
whatever. You take it off.
They
grill,
boiled
peel
it. They boiled
No. How do you eat the corn on the cob? Show me.
How do I eat?
Show me how you eat the corn right now. Show me.
Typewriter style.
And you hold that big thing.
I go.
But it's almost like a macho thing.
Like a typewriter.
Yeah, it's almost like a macho thing. You get right. You're holding that big thing.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, if you cut it in half and try to eat it now what do you look like?
No, you got to.
You're like a squirrel.
But
am I right? Yeah. They cut it in half in the buffet.
No, because they're cheap. No, you know why?
No,
they
smart.
want.
It's smart.
Right,
They want to waste food.
They want to waste food.
But what I'm saying is, I can't eat it now because I don't like the way I look eating it. This is what crosses my. I told you it's a simple mind. This is nothing deep.
No, but it's.
Picture me eating the corn on the cob. And look at me.
But
right?
It's the half one.
Wait, hold on. I'm eating the whole one right now. Look at me. How do I look? Pretty good. Turning it a little. Now watch me with the little piece.
So then you got to eat it watermill style. You got to go like this.
I don't think that's a good way to eat the whole corn.
I have to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This is.
I hope it's as deep as my corn on the cob.
Did you have any pasta? Because
we have a war hero on as our first guest.
Right.
We're talking about corn on the cob and cutting it in half. Do you see? This guy's gonna hang up on us. He's like, what
he
the
should.
Hell? I hope not.
But did you have any pasta? Because I know how mad you get when they charge for pasta.
I'm glad you brought pasta up, and I'm glad Jay's in studio. He's one of our guests. I don't like to pay for pasta, so
I'm aware.
We are preparing for the Laughter Saves Lives Almost Gala, November 22nd.
I blocked the whole date.
I looked at all different things that we're going to order, and I am not ordering pasta. Somebody is going to make the pasta. Somebody's going to make it.
Because how much does it cost to make a couple of pounds of pasta?
They were charging like $90 for a tray.
And it costs how much to make?
$5.25 probably.
Tops.
We'll sprinkle a little cheese in there.
Now I don't know if I could. How many?
Jay's not going to come now. He knows how we're going to make.
How many people? Because I make a summer pasta sauce. Did you see the recipe?
Yes, I did. I'm hoping to have 200 people.
You know how many pounds of tomatoes I need for that?
4.
No, I need like a truck.
4. But anyway.
And fresh mozzarella alone?
Well, what do you mean fresh
$15?
What is this fresh mozzarella? What do you think about what? This is the almost gala.
Well,
this isn't the gala.
If I make my dish, that's my signature dish.
You're not going to Ivarone's for the mozzarella.
That's where I go.
You're going to Stop and Shop for this.
No, I go to a regular store, Italian store.
All right.
You know what you could do?
Yeah.
Upcharge people. Say if you want Santos Summit rigatoni, you got to pay.
Additional donation. Another $5 for.
And I can make it custom. I can make it right there. I could chop more tomato.
You could stand behind.
I could make it right in front of the people.
In the outfit as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
So what you just told me?
Yep.
I'm not performing on the show.
I didn't say that yet.
I'm gonna be cooking.
Tell you that later. All right. All right. So I don't remember the last time. This is disgusting. I took a shower. When the pool season opens up, I got the pool in the.
What?
When I took a shower last.
Is there an app you can get?
I don't know. I got to keep track of.
Write it down.
I think this is on.
Beautiful pen here.
Yeah, make him little.
Yeah.
Make his voice little now.
Can you hear me?
The bad news is yes.
Okay.
Is that it? I hope. Oh, he's gone already. He is a good man. Did you see how quickly he went? Now I feel bad.
I look really big. I told you I bought the Pop-Pops. Yes. Now this is if you have an 8-year-old grandson, see, you got to get the pop. You know, you throw them and you pop, and then we throw them at each other. Then he throws them at his mother, and I get in trouble. You know, it's a whole thing. Close adult supervision.
Yeah, close adult. But they had the Pop-Pops, and then next to it they had the Monster Pops.
They're bigger.
Who's buying the Pops, right? Who's going to buy the Pops when you have the Monster Pops right next to it?
Can I say something that happened in 1987?
Yes.
I think the statute of limitations is up.
Go ahead. What'd you do?
I'm not going to say who did it. It wasn't me, but I'm not going to say because I keep secrets.
Oh, go ahead.
Somebody put those kinds of things in the front of a classroom. When our math teacher walked in, she stepped on.
Oh, that's a home run.
That's still funny.
She would probably laugh about that today. You know,
she probably would if she was alive. But
that killed her.
No, not that.
Oh my God, you scared me.
That didn't kill her. But I used to do an impression of her.
Yeah,
and you know, like the intercom in the 80s, like in high school.
Yes.
When I intercom down to the principal, they thought it was her.
Oh,
that's how good I could do.
You were good, but you're going to be very proud of me. I don't know if I ever told you this story.
Tell me.
Forest Hills High School, Mr. Herman.
Okay.
Don't mention the name.
Mr. Herman.
They could give you detention even today.
He was the assistant coach, but he was the head gym teacher, whatever. It was 10 degrees out. We were going outside a little bit at that time, but it was too cold today. So I knew we weren't going out and whatever. And I go into the locker room and I imitate Mr. Herman. I open the door and I go, all right, we're going outside today. Outside today. Everybody, 5 minutes. Let's go. Shorts, T-shirts, bang.
It's hilarious that you say that.
They all went outside but me. And he comes walking in and he goes, where is everybody? I go, I don't know.
We had a gym teacher. It's so funny you say that. And I always used to say, if there was a Category 5 hurricane, he'd be like, great day for a game. Like, he would always get us outside. That's so funny that we had the same or similar experience.
Yes. And this Sunday, our buddy, Tom DiDario, he's been working on this movie for how many years?
I went to the script reading for this movie.
Right. Are you in the movie?
Before the pandemic.
Are you in the movie?
I don't know. I wanted to just watch them work.
All right, because I'm not in the movie either. But still,
no, you don't have to be. Let me tell you something.
Tommy said he thought about me one day when he was writing.
If you're not right for the part, you're not right for the part. That's okay. But these guys are amazing. I've seen them work. Let's bring them on.
But wait, before you bring them on, can I do it right? Just give me this one thing.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, executive producer, actor, director, Mr. Tom DiDario.
That
was pretty good.
I was almost going to say, and Tom's on too.
That really was good.
That was good.
Yeah, I gotta go. It's not
Did you finish eating your salmon?
I did. Thank you for asking.
All right, so big movie, pancakes and
syrup.
That's a running joke.
That's a running joke. Rich Walker went to bring me up, and he forgot the syrup, dude. John, seriously, John's. This is hilarious that I'm talking to John's, but John's. That's hilarious that he looked at me and he was like, I'm sorry, Tom. And I was like, dude, just guess, maybe.
Pancakes and peanuts. So, big premiere this Sunday.
Yes. In
I'm going to be there, my brother. I will be there to support you. I'm going to try to drag a few of my family members along.
Thank you. John Santo, I'd love for you to come along, man.
I'd love to come. I'm going to come because I was, like I said, I was there when they first read the script. Right. And I've seen all the work that they've done over the years, and to see the actual final product would be incredible.
Listen, I want to support you so badly. Do I have to pay?
Well, for you, this time,
I will be anything up to $3.
I'm going to make sure that I get you comp. No, nobody's paying.
I'm going to be there, Tommy. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there.
We can't charge anybody money. It's a thing where it's just a screening, you know. So, and this is the banner. I know I'm standing up. It's very unprofessional.
Here's nice. Banner. Can we take pictures in front of that?
Oh, wow.
The banner. It's
I'm going to get dressed up. Do we have to get dressed up?
Well, no. No, we are. Like, we're going to dress a bit, you know, because it makes sense to do that. But
it should be a black tie event, I think. It should
we got the banner done, which is great. They were great about it. We had somebody work on the whole thing for us. You know, it was great. So we're very excited about it. So it's in Belmore at the Belmore Theater, 7:00. Doors open about 6:30, and anybody can come down. Anybody that wants to come. So you can like message me or message you. Like if you get a message from somebody you know, John, just let me know, and I'll just put them on a list. We're just trying to keep like a running total. Right now, we're looking at possibly about 170 people.
Wow!
What does the theater hold? That's
what
pretty.
The theater holds, I think, 45.
Yeah. No, we're going to be a total fire hazard on a show that's a former fireman. Yeah.
Fire department's right next door. No problem.
Exactly. It holds like 300 people, so it should be.
Hey, Tommy, in a nutshell, the log line. What is the movie about?
It's about two guys that travel cross country, trying to make their way in show business, struggling with drugs and alcohol, and it's a lot of fun. It's a blast. But you can go to pancakesandsyrup.net or reach out to me on anywhere, we have pasthemovie@gmail.com if you want to email me. And we're just putting a list together of anybody that wants to go. So
all right. So we will see you Sunday. I'm glad we got you on to give a quick plug. We kind of squeezed you in,
of course,
because we could keep you on for 45 minutes. You're one of the funniest guys I know, and I love you. One of my favorite headliners.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you Sunday, big guy.
Thanks, Tom. See you Sunday.
Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Tom DeDario, Pancakes and Syrup, Sunday in Belmore. We're going to go to break, and we'll be right back with our Marine Sergeant Kenneth Krause.
If you spent time downtown on 9/11 or in the 8 months after, you were exposed to toxic air and may be eligible for compensation from the $10 billion 9/11 Victim Fund. But most people who qualify still haven't claimed what they're entitled to.
I worked downtown. I didn't die. I was an office worker. I felt like there were others who deserved the money more than I did.
A major reason people haven't claimed the money they're due is guilt. They feel guilty claiming funds when others died or were first responders.
I heard there were 9/11 funds, but because I wasn't a first responder, I did not apply.
You do not have to be a first responder to qualify. This fund was created for everyone who worked, lived, or attended school south of Canal Street, who may have experienced or have experienced respiratory illness or any of the 68 cancers linked to the toxins. Even if you have a family history of cancer, there is a presumption linking most cancers to the toxins.
I thought it was too late to make a claim. My spouse worked downtown at a bank and died of cancer. Honestly, I just haven't felt up to it.
The government's $10 billion Victim Fund and Health Program have been permanently extended. You just need to have been below Canal Street on 9/11 or at any time in the following 8 months. To see if you qualify, call or go to 911fund.com to speak to a representative of Barasch and McGarry, lawyers for the 9/11 community.
There are many reasons people who are eligible for compensation are not stepping up to claim it. To those who are holding back, I would say just take the first step. Ask for help. Make the call. It's not too late.
I called and I qualified.
I qualify.
I qualify.
Millions of dollars remain unclaimed. You do not have to be seriously ill to qualify.
Are we back?
Are we back?
We're back. Live from Television Paradise Studios. So our first guest, this we've had a lot of guests on the shows, and this is our hero segment, so to speak. Mm-hmm. We've had a lot of heroes on the show. We could spend 2 hours with this guy, I'm sure.
Oh, easily.
You know what I mean? It's such an honor to have him. He's a Purple Heart recipient, Navy Commendation Medal recipient. I'm going to ask him to explain both of those. We don't kind of know what a Purple Heart is.
Yeah, we know what a Purple Heart is.
Marine Sergeant Kenneth Krause. Please bring him on. Kenneth. Bring Kenneth. First of all, it seems so simple to say thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Gentlemen, it's a pleasure and honor. Thank you very much for inviting me on.
You know, I was reading your bio today, and most of the preparation I do is, driving on the way here. But today I looked at your bio, and I'm like, I don't know where to start, but let's start with a Purple Heart. All right, from where does a Purple Heart stand? What is it for, and where does that stand in the level of medals that you can get?
What I understand, John, thank you again. I appreciate it. A lot of people don't understand that. It was back in 1789, if I'm correct, is that George Washington established it in the Revolutionary War for the heinous wounds that were received in the Revolutionary War patriots. And it was one of the first national honors, long before the Medal of Honor, to be given because there were so many wounds in battle. Remember, they just lined up against each other and shot until somebody got tired of getting shot at with cannon or with the ballistics, and they just gave up. So, why would anybody line up there and go through that, besides just what their dedication to their reasons for signing up for the war to begin with.
Right.
You got to know what you lining up there with anybody that signs up in the armed services, that there's a chance, no matter what you are, a truck driver or a pilot or whatever, that you're going to have to, get into a conflict never known, and you're going to have to, fight for your life, for your country.
And that concept right there, the bravery that you got, I've been on a few military bases teaching, and the simple way that you guys live on the bases and the dedication that you have, the average citizen, I believe, just doesn't get it, just doesn't understand the dedication. And anybody who's coming out of the military, that's the first people we should be hiring. These people that left their family to fight for their country, and the dedication. So again, thank you for that. Explain the other medal.
The Navy Commendation Medal it's an achievement award that's given for either administration and or in combat. And mine was in combat. Basically, the certification reads, for the time that I made a decision to sacrifice myself and the other Marines that I was with so that other Americans could live. So I traded my life and the situation I was in at the time, that it was not according to any other medal, like the Medal of Honor or the Navy Cross or the other ones, in direct combat. So when you're in a position like that, how do you award somebody the decisions made and the sacrifices made? And it's let's say on a Navy Commendation Medal, we're probably, I think, the fifth one down from the Medal of Honor and a Silver Star. And it can come with, a administration, with would be really important. It's like guys like Oppenheimer and people that have done things that you can't talk about,
right?
Hours and hours and hundreds of things that they've ever done or sacrificed in their life to break a code that could make the difference in a war. How do you equate that and make it relevant to somebody out there in the field that does it under combat? So in similar circumstances, it's a hard ratio to make a relative thing. And then that's why they leave it up to people that have been through that, and then to authorize Congress to bless it.
Amazing.
I'm lucky to have had that.
I can ask him a million questions. Richie always says I don't let him talk. So
I'm good.
Yeah, you got something?
Yeah. So you're when you were in the embassy in Tehran, I didn't realize that this had occurred before. A lot of people are familiar with the hostage crisis that happened later that year. I did not realize there was an attack on the embassy prior to that.
Of course not, sir. That really caused Jimmy Carter it started his downfall over there. Sorry to say that, but if anybody wants to argue it, give me a call. I'll give you all more information than you get. Bury you in it, okay? And we told them about that. They saw it coming. They set it up. You read my book, you'll see they took our M16s away. They knew that the attack was coming, just like in Benghazi 25 years later. They knew it was coming. They set them up. They did not want to have the Americans like an Alamo per se. And then from that point of view, PR section, they go, oh, remember, this was just 5 years after Vietnam, 74, 79.
Okay.
Just barely fallen. Okay. The Iron Curtain, for you people that don't remember that, Google it, because you can, because there was no Google. There was no internet. It was like maybe 3 or 4 news services around the world, right? ABC,
right.
Pick them. And that's all you got. Walter Cronkite, like, here's the news. And that was it. Okay? Think about it. You didn't have no pom-pom. Google this, Google that. It wasn't a Google. If you say Google to somebody, they thought it was, a sexual preference or something. I don't know. But that's where it was. So back then, they had no clue what was going on. We were still dealing with the Soviet Union, the Soviet Socialist Republic. All right? You're talking about, digress for a second. The Iron Curtain was still running through Europe. Remember, it took Reagan to sit there, come in there and go to Berlin and say, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Berlin was still a split damn city.
Yeah.
Ask your people, anybody over 50. They don't know. They don't teach it. So reference your point. Yes, sir. Yeah, they started it in February. We lost the Shah. We lost ancient Persia. We lost our best friend in the Middle East. Okay? Do your biblical history and you'll find out it is what's left of a huge empire. The country of Iran by itself, 2.5 times the size of Texas. I'll leave it in your ballpark to figure out where that's going to come when it talks about the sandbox and the oil.
So now let me ask you this, kind of diverge a little bit here. So you leave your family, you're over in terrible conditions. I know my dad was he was in Germany between World War II and Korea, and all you got is you got your buddies, right? What are the kind of things you did over there to kind of entertain yourselves? Keep the spirits up. That we would be surprised about. Something that you could talk about, obviously.
Well, John, it's a weird question because at the time in 78, 79, we are a special unit. MSG, Marine Security Guards, are the only special kind of guards that you're going to have at embassies and consulates and diplomatic missions around the world. Even back then, they might have changed it since then. I don't know. So at the point being is that we go to the embassies and we work for the State Department. Long story short, to answer your questions. So depends on the country that you're in. Look, you're in Paris, you're in France, You're in Paris, you're in Stockholm, Sweden. Look at all the blondes. You're in Australia. You're in all the fat embassies. That's great. You're in a shithole like Iran, and you're talking about a country that is falling apart now from a civil war. They are Muslim, but they are not Arabs. Don't call them Arabs. They take offense of it. So put it back in your perspective. You're going over to a country where this area in the sandbox is very important to us because we're supporting the West. We're supporting them, and every other country except for Saudi Arabia is supporting the Soviets and the Russians. So when you get over there, it's a shithole. I mean, it is not fun.
Well, there was a lot of
like Beirut. Remember Beirut? It used to be a wonderful French Riviera on the far eastern side. It was wonderful this night. And then when you say Beirut, does anybody remember that? Not if you're 40 years old. No.
Yeah.
It was horrible when I first landed. And when you read my book, I have very descriptive visions of it and some photographs in there of what it was like when they gave me my briefing coming from my embassy in Nicosia, Cyprus, being sent there to help out and bolster the security guards. When I get there, and I landed in a suit. And they took my suit. They took my set. They took my, and they gave me a helmet, and they gave me a flak jacket, and they put me in an armored personnel carrier, and that's how they took me from the airport to the embassy.
Oh boy!
Yeah, not a taxi, no Uber, nothing like that. So when you look back at that time, it's wild, man.
Yeah.
When you're in a country like that, so you have Americans in Iran, right?
That's
the embassy has a level of security. But do you stay in the embassy the whole time? Like, how do you go there? Like, how do you go on the streets? They know you're an American. I mean, all of the embassies have an intelligence gathering unit there. Don't they know who the Americans are and what they're doing there? I mean,
absolutely. No, anybody in the clue knows that every embassy of the United States or any embassy anywhere or in the world, including consulates, they're all intelligence gatherings. Okay. If you fool yourself, you're nuts. They're not spies that kill people, although who knows who works out of it, but they collect the information, and they're collecting information on everything that from commerce and banking and what's going on, who's sleeping with who. Information is information, period. And that's what it is. But when you get to a country where it's a troubled country like Iran, at the time in 77, 78, 79, it's a civil war. We had to close down one of our consulates. We had to nickname it Fort Apache because it got so bad with the drive-by shootings and bombings. We had to pull the people out and put them back in the embassy.
But
so
how
to
do
answer
you,
your question,
how do you
don't go anywhere? When I got there,
Right.
And they said, look, don't worry about your clothes that we got at the airport. We're going to give you a new uniform and new everything. I never left the compound except for security details. Never left it. I mean, for 6 months that I was there, it's like, the drive-by shootings and everything that was going on.
What about food deliveries and stuff like that, Ken? How does that get to you?
Well, they have contracts with people that bring the food there. And that's a good point because it's always been a weakness of where the food that gets delivered there, what could they have tainted it with?
Right.
So, exactly. But that being the kind of country it is, their culture and their cuisine, they didn't put up with a lot of packaged and especially at that time, the packaged or canned foods. So a lot of the stuff was fresh. So to try to continue to get the fresh food was difficult. and then it became a security threat. Okay, once the Intel folks, the ABC, XYZ folks, all the alphabet agencies started saying, hey, you know, how are they going to backdoor us in here? Or, you know, whether the food, or how about this? They just send a bomb in through the mail, you know, or anthrax or whatever. I mean, because these guys aren't thinking on their own. They got friends up in the Russians. They got friends that hate us. That everybody has availability to know what the other guy can do if they want to get to us. So to answer your question, you know, I don't know if we were lucky, but I don't know how some of the food that was still prepared in there, especially when it comes down to in my book, the firefighting where I got, you know.
You keep talking about your book. What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book, Ken?
There it is. Saying it says "United We Stand," but it's basically a Marine endures hell.
Okay. First Marine held hostage in Iran during the Iranian hostage crisis. Sounds like a book that's filled with interesting stuff. We could have you back on after we read the book. But I just wanted to go on. You didn't end your service when you ended your career with the military. You went on to do some other stuff.
Yes, sir. I went to work for the Department of Energy, nuclear SWAT. They were looking for crazy guys that just wanted to sit in convoys, ex-Marines, ex-combat vets, you know, and our job is to safeguard the nuclear weapons and nuclear material that transports across your roads across the United States every day that you got no clue of. Right. And because we are so good at our job and so secret of it, there's no books, there's no movies, you'll never see it. And there has never been, by any terrorist stretching imagination, a known assault or planned assault to pirate or to hijack a nuclear convoy.
You mean they don't have a placard on the side of, they don't have a placard on the side of the truck that says nuclear materials, stand back?
Probably no, sir. That's the movies.
That's the movie. Probably says Walmart or something.
And then
probably hidden in plain sight.
Then you went to the Roswell and Georgia PD.
That's true. And then once after my first divorce, I said, well, you know what? Being on the road is great, making obnoxious money. Even back then in the 80s, that was good. But you know what? I moved over here to Georgia, and I got hooked up with some friends from the Marine Corps and some other SWAT areas. Anyway, they talked me into going into being police work, and it was going good because '93 in Atlanta when I moved here, they had the Super Bowl, and then they had the '96 they had the Olympics coming, so everybody was hiring like crazy. So I took the job, and you know, as a police officer, and I put 22 years on the streets in Roswell, just above Atlanta.
Wow. Well, thank you for all that service. I mean, you can tell what type of individual you are, the dedication you have. And there's people like this man around the country, right, who are taking care of us, and people just don't realize it until you really need them, and then they're there.
Yep.
You know, and then they're there. So now what are you doing now?
I'm retired. I'm going on talk shows. I just finished my book. And when you're done here, get your producer to send me your email or whatever, and I'll give you a signed copy so you can read it. And the details are and the photographs are awesome. The first time ever seen some of the photographs that were smuggled out from 1979 are finally cleared by the State Department and the Pentagon to be seen in this book. So,
oh wow,
the originals that I have will be going to the Smithsonian when I pass away.
Wow,
45 years later, and we're just getting that picture.
I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on.
My pleasure, John. Absolutely, and I'd like to see you again or talk to you again. And I really like your show, and you guys are a hoot.
All right, thanks.
Thank you for your service, Ken.
Yes, Ken. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely, pleasure. Hey, by the way,
that's. I don't read a lot of books. That's a book that I would.
Yeah, read. I'm going to read that when you're done.
That's a book that I would read. There's a point that you brought up that I wanted to say something.
What?
Because I just watched it. I'm into all of that. Oh, the tear down this wall.
Yes.
Right. Oh, do you know? Because you're so smart. And I throw these things out.
You're the only one that calls me smart.
Oh,
so
no, I'm not. I'm sure your wife calls you all kinds of things.
Yeah, but smart isn't one of them.
But how they started crossing, it was almost a mistake.
What, the Berlin Wall?
Yeah. You know that story? I mean, I watched it on YouTube, and it was so interesting.
Like when the wall was being built, or
when they originally allowed people to cross. It was like somebody made a statement that this was going to happen.
Oh, after in '89, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know what year it was.
When they came down.
Yeah, but please forgive me for not, no. But Peter, I bet you would know. We could bring Peter on.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear
but it didn't happen right away.
It happened 2 years later.
But initially, when they started crossing, it was a politician. Some said it was going to happen when they said it,
right,
and people started coming out to cross, and it was like, no, yeah, all right, and that's how it started. Something like that. Peter,
you know what I told my contractor when I had to tear down my kitchen? We gutted the kitchen.
Tear down this wall.
And his name is Gary. So I wrote on it, and I go, his name is Gary, my contractor. I go, Mr. Gary Chev, tear down this wall. And he did it.
We're going to go to break. When we be back with Jay Fortune. I'm going to say it 10 times. Jay Fortune from the Knights of Columbus.
Hi, I'm Arthur Lee, founder, CEO, and inventor of LifeVac, a simple rescue device that could save a child's life in a choking emergency. All these people were saved with LifeVac. People may not realize that on average, 14 people a day die from choking-related incidents. Every 5 days, one of those is a child. As simple as place, push, pull.
To learn more, please visit lifevac.net.
When disaster strikes, call Bullifus Restorations, Long Island's leader in all property damage restoration. We provide fire, water, mold, and soot cleanups with hands-on expertise. Our 24/7 rapid response ensures the smoothest and fastest path back to normal. We'll coordinate the entire process from cleanup to repairs, even help filing your insurance claim. We're insurance claims specialists and are committed to getting you back to pre-loss condition. Bullifus Restorations, the disaster experts you can trust.
He was a hostage. And we're back with Left to Save Lives live. Strong Island Television in beautiful Paradise Studios. And from the Knights of Columbus, Father Anthony, J. Foley, Council 11163. Hike! We have Jay Fortune here.
Thank you.
And Sunday.
You don't clap anymore?
Well, he has the clap in the back.
He's got the fire.
There it is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What's our audience? That's that in the back. That's the
live audience.
So Jay had us. Now we used to do the shows at Northport once every 3 months.
The VA Center.
The nursing home section, building 92. They call it building. It's the nursing home section. And there's some guys who live across the road.
Mm-hmm.
We used to do it once every 3 months.
Yep, I did it.
And it kind of slipped away, COVID or whatever. And shame on me for not calling them enough. But Richie, in fact, Rich Walker, Jay found Rich Walker somehow. And Richie passed it on. And Richie couldn't do the first show because he was away or something.
Mm-hmm.
But Sunday, we went down to the Veterans Hospital.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it started out, we were trying to find a way. I'm a Eucharistic minister, and I bring communion down to the vets.
He's Catholic.
To the vets once a week. And they just don't have anything else socially going on down there. There's not a lot happening for these guys, and they're living there. And until you actually get to see the conditions without interacting with other people, that they don't get to interact with people, you really can't appreciate it. So we were coming. I was trying to come up with an idea. It started out, I wanted to get my Knights more involved, because I know if the hardest thing is to get somebody to see what's going on down there.
Yes.
To appreciate it. I could talk to the Knights all the time, and we would say, yeah, we'll give them money, we'll do this, we'll do that. And that's all well and good. Everybody means well. But until you actually get to see the situation.
It's not only that, you brought a bunch of guys down.
Right. And that was the purpose, so they could see
not only could see it, but the veterans can see and feel them there. Even some of these guys who cannot speak, to see these new faces coming in. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for your service. Pushing them around. You guys did a wonderful, wonderful job. And I don't know if I said that enough that day. It was really just a great experience to be there with you guys and to do that.
No, thank you. It was a great experience for them to experience the veterans and to do that for them. We had a meeting Monday, the next day after that, actually,
and all of a sudden now everybody's so excited to go back to do something.
And so are we.
They're talking about doing bingo that night down there with them now, and to try to stay interactive.
It's such a shame that these guys, some of them have no families,
right?
I even saw the case where one family, it was the daughter's engagement party or whatever, and they must have brought the gentleman to the party, but then they brought him back, and they left, which is but I felt so bad for that guy because there's probably going back to the house, and having a little after party, and I was glad that we were there, not only for all of them, but for him, just to be. Hopefully, his name was John too.
Right,
he
and
was a
I
cool
got
guy.
to tell you, John. Then I brought communion Tuesday when I was there, and it's hard for these guys to put the show on it for them also because
they don't laugh.
They're not the greatest audience.
Right.
To react.
See, I'm used to not getting laughs. Most comics get hit.
So I mean, for you, it's natural.
I beat you.
But on Tuesday, they actually every single way they had a great time.
Good.
Oh,
they loved it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing.
They appreciated the fact that you guys came.
Came.
That you did
how many
veterans?
We had a nice.
There were like 50-something veterans.
Yeah.
That came.
And then we had how many of you guys?
And there were like 18 of us.
Which was great because they were laughing.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they could hear the laughter release. If they weren't laughing, these guys are laughing. And that was good for the comics too because they feed off of that a little bit.
I did it one time. There were only a few people, 12 veterans or whatever. But you leave there you feel so good that you did something.
And we want to
nice.
do more. We want to work with you and do more shows.
Means,
and let's throw some of those pictures up. From the show the other day. So this is the outside of the Community Living Center.
Oh, that's
all right. That's where we did the show in there. We were in the cafeteria. There's John Butera up there. I see a nice little crowd.
Yeah.
So I think that's all. I took a bunch more pictures, but also their privacy is important. I can't just take a picture. But I'm hoping that when we go back,
yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping when we go back, they get some approval. I'd love to interview some of the guys and show parts of the interview on the show because these guys have been around the block. They've been around the block. And
when I was
the one guy? How old was that one guy?
There's one fella there that's 103 years old.
World War II?
Purple Heart, World War II, and he's got a friend that's still living at home. He's 98. And they call each other twice a day just to make sure they're both still alive.
Oh wow,
unbelievable!
And they laugh about it. They
he was the one that wanted to get out of the wheelchair.
Yeah,
I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
He said, "Can I sit on that chair? Is that higher or lower?" And I'm answering them, and the nurse would have said, "Oh no, you can't. You're not getting out of the chair. Because they're you can fall.
There was a guy there when I did it years ago, and he wasn't in Vietnam or Korea, but he was in that Cold War combat period. Between I guess 53 to 65 or something, but there was a lot of stuff going on that he was Navy submariner. A lot of stuff went on that's still classified to this day that was dangerous, but it wasn't in the war, whatever actual war.
What I want to do is I just want to issue one more question. We'll go to break and then we'll bring Peter on. Peter was at the show.
Right.
He's one of the comics because he'll talk about this a little bit too. Knights of Columbus, in a nutshell, what do they do? What's your mission statement?
Charity organization. We support the parish that we're from.
Catholic organization,
and we also support any charitable function.
You do great work.
We're just for charity.
Great work. I am a dues-paying member. That's as far as I go. I may go further. We did a show locally, I think, for the Knights of Columbus. You were on the show.
Yes.
Yeah. So what?
In Seaford, was that the Seaford show?
I don't remember. What I want to do is let's do a quick break and then let's bring out Peter and we can continue this conversation a little bit.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back.
Did anyone ever tell you look like Leslie Nielsen?
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo!
I saw the market was down today. I go, you know what? Time to throw some cash into stocks that I own, right?
Yeah.
Now I start withdrawing from here. TD Bank, Capital Bank, Chase. I'm putting money out left and right, right? One stock I just wanted to throw it on. I picked one stock. I think I picked a Walmart. I took all that money out of those 5 different accounts. Boom, $50 on Walmart. Wow. Bam. Withdrew a lot of all different accounts. Total, bam, $50. So the joke there was I withdrew from a few different accounts and only did the $50. I think the joke was lost.
You went with the low risk.
I got
account.
Bobby got it. Thank you, Bobby.
You got it. Good one.
See how he wants us to continue doing our show
Bobby,
here.
I still don't
get it. He said,
get
John, good
you
one.
You took a lot out.
5 different accounts, but I only had $50. Pulling money out, I only had $50.
Seconds later.
And we're back. Laughter Saves Lives live at Strong Island Television, Paradise Studios. Let's bring in Peter Bales, longtime comic, professor, friend.
Is that Peter Bales?
That's Peter.
Me. It is.
The wonderful, intelligent Peter Bales.
Hello, it's great to be here. You guys are great tonight.
As a history professor, when I was telling the story about how they passed through the wall, were you getting twitchy?
Actually, I had to take some medication. I was getting. I think you cleared everything up about the Cold War and how it started and the birth of the Berlin Wall.
The YouTube video. It's so
interesting. You were on top of it, man.
No, I wasn't.
They were coming over the wall, and then they were told they had to go back. Couldn't have been.
Am I right though? Wasn't it like a mistake almost?
You're kind of right, John. But you cut so many classes when you were in school that you didn't pick up on the basics. But I had such a blast at the Northport VA for those vets and the Knights of Columbus. It was really rewarding. I know those guys enjoyed it. I could see it in their faces. And I felt really good after the show. And I hope you do more comedy there because they appreciate it.
You should feel really good because there's never a time that I've called you with any veterans show that you have said no.
Well, I'm not going to say no unless on the History Channel biography is doing Harry Truman, in which case I can't miss that. But aside from that, I will be there anytime. And I should quiz you guys. People need to know more history. And when I was talking to vets, we were talking about history. There were Korean War veterans there, and I didn't know World War II vets. So World War II, Korean War vets, and it's not always wartime. I mean, vets serve every year, whether there's a war or not. But you tend to think World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and of course the biggest war of all, Grenada.
Yes, huge. In fact, my veteran, my dad, is right now sitting in my basement watching the Met game. It's an unfinished basement with no air conditioning, but he was a prisoner for a while, so I want him to keep he's down there with AC. He served in between World War II and Korea. That was
late 40s. The latter was late 40s.
According to the VA, wartime.
What period of time?
There are certain benefits that you can get if you serve during wartime.
Right.
And part of that time, even though the war wasn't officially going on, he gets credit for that.
What year?
I don't know the years. I don't even know about
what war are they calling it that he was in? He was the Cold War arguably started in 1945 and ended in 1992, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
There were all kinds of pressures on our veterans, even when it wasn't quote unquote an official war.
There's a Cold War medal. I mean, there's actually you get credit for Cold War service.
Jay, did you serve at all?
No, I didn't. I went to a military high school.
Oh, really?
But the Vietnam War at that day, and they had just stopped the draft prior to that, and so I didn't enlist afterwards. I went to college.
Peter taught at a community college where my daughter went, and my daughter said, "I'm going to take Peter's class." I think she thought she was going to get 3 easy credits, Peter.
I worked her hard, and Christina was absolutely terrific. And because You gave me $200. She got an A.
And did you notice once she got her grade, your bookings went down?
Yes, I did.
While she was in your class, every show, put Peter on it. Put Peter on it.
I have applied to be an adjunct professor. I would really, but your kids are all out of school, so
No, but
I can't get booked.
Let me tell you something. And I'm sure most of his students feel this way. He is very dedicated to what he does. He ain't going to give away easy grades, but he's going to be fair, and you're going to learn. And she said, as a psych nurse, a nursing student, the best class she ever took as a nursing student.
Wow.
Not a history
Really
student.
nice.
So she loved the class.
She took American history with me and spoke out a lot. She loved it.
Well, that's Christina.
Yeah.
She's a LaRocchia. What do you expect?
Yeah, she's a LaRocchia.
Right?
I love it. I love it. I love history and I love comedy. Those are my new, I should say my continual passions in life. Stand-up comedy and history.
Well,
and they go together. I love the history of comedy, for goodness sake.
Wouldn't you say he's one of the godfathers of Long Island comedy, along with all the big names you hear, Jerry Seinfeld, all these people? This guy was right there with him at the start, and he just chose a different path. Just chose a different path.
When he does a roast, Peter
oh
is
my
the
God,
best
he's the best roaster
of any roaster I've ever seen.
Well, thank you, man. John Santo, you should be a professor of aviation. That would be a great thing for you to be. This guy knows all the history of aviation.
Aviation history is my thing.
Yeah, he knows a lot of history about aviation that nobody else.
Let me give you both a question. All right, it's a trick question, but it's a history question. I want you to get this.
Well, get Jay involved too, because maybe Jay.
Big question.
I hate to say this. I think Jay is too smart for this question, but I think you and John will be challenged.
All right, you're dumbing it down. All right. Go ahead.
Back in ancient times, ancient Athens always had the best navy. And ancient Sparta in ancient Greece always had the best army. All right?
Right.
Which side, Athens or Sparta, had the greatest Air Force?
I was going to say the Air Force.
I'm going to say, let me think.
I know that was coming. I know it.
I'm just going to Google it. Wait, let me think.
Ancient Greece.
I'm going to say
ancient
Greece.
Right. Can I give him a hint?
Help him out.
It had to be a glider.
Okay.
I say ancient Greece.
So the first flight was in 1903.
That we know of.
Oh, okay.
Come on. That's,
right.
before,
all those secret gliders that happened in ancient Rome.
Greece, I'll go with Peter. Next question.
John, he's overthinking it. You've got to help him.
I nailed it. I nailed that. Right, John?
The answer is, I was actually asked this question in a class. Of course, the answer is they didn't have an Air Force. Neither side had an Air Force.
Don't you think I know that? I'm just dumbing it down for the show. I knew that.
No, you didn't.
It was 5 years later that they started the Air Force.
Right.
1625.
Right. All right.
Next.
All right.
You got anything else?
How long?
Yeah.
How long was the 100 Years' War?
Oh,
actually, this could be one of those things where it was like 101,
it could
but
be.
100 sounded.
It wasn't exactly 100 years.
It wasn't exactly 100.
Who's
no?
better?
It wasn't exactly 100.
It was like 99. They rounded it up.
Something like they rounded it up.
All right.
But what year was the War of 1812?
Ooh.
It's
started.
Didn't it go till 1814?
Yes, it did. Monsanto with the answer.
Nice. You came to, if you remember this, you came to the VA hospital in St. Albans, which we're going to try to get back there again. And you got up in front of them, and for whatever reason, you felt it. You just started talking about every president and details nobody knew. And they started asking questions. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. He was going to do a comedy set. And he did about a half hour. They freaking loved it.
It's interesting stuff.
It is.
History's interesting.
It really is.
And we don't have to take it so seriously, for goodness sake. We don't.
I'm going out and I'm going to start talking about the wall and why people first crossed the wall. It was a mistake, and they started coming, and then they let them across. And then they couldn't let him back. Didn't they, Peter? Didn't they let him across with the that they weren't coming back initially?
Actually, the wall was originally built.
Yes.
The East German handball team. They were so successful, they expanded the wall, and they realized that they were blocking in everybody who lived in East Berlin. This episode, there's an episode where they let people cross the wall, then they realized it was too soon, and they brought them back into East Berlin. John, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
It was before Easy Pass.
Yes. That's right. Well, everybody, including me tonight, watching this show, will be Googling this, and we will blame John for hours and hours wasted.
I'm going to talk because we got to go. We got to go. We got to go. But I'm telling you, they crossed the bridge. They weren't supposed to, and they said let them across because there were too many. But don't let them back. They hit their passport.
Can I ask you one question?
I'm telling you, don't let them back. And then somebody came and said, I left my kids at home.
You know what's sad?
I got one thing.
When I went to a foreign country, they used to stamp your passport. They don't stamp your passport anymore.
Oh, we got to go. We got to go.
John, one last thing.
Yeah.
There's a place for you. It's perfect for you.
Yeah.
And we call it summer school. You can make up the things that you missed.
All right, I'll be there. Am I teaching or am I a student?
Student.
You are a student.
Good night, everybody. Thank you to famous Peter Bales.
Thank you very much for
Thank you, Peter.
We're going to watch the next game. Good night, everybody.
It's been rained away.